Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking the collaboration code. We're digging into a recent survey that reveals what fine arts teachers really need to thrive, not just on their own, but as a team.
So let's just jump right in, because the answer here, it's probably not what you're thinking. This is about so much more than just swapping lesson plans. A new survey gives us this incredible window into what arts educators are prioritizing, what they're struggling with, and, most importantly, the solutions they're putting on the table.
All right, first things first. Before we get into all the problems, let's talk about the ideal. What does great, meaningful collaboration actually look like to the teachers who are in the trenches every single day? Okay, now this is fascinating. When you look at the data, one thing just leaps off the page. Yeah, sharing lessons and problem solving are super important, no doubt. They're tied for second. But the number one thing teachers want, by a huge margin, almost 85%, is emotional support and camaraderie. They just want to feel like they're part of a team. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? For these teachers, collaboration isn't some cold administrative task you check off a list. It's about human connection. It's about knowing you're not out there on an island by yourself and having a support system that truly gets the unique challenges of teaching the arts. So if that's the dream, what's getting in the way? What's the reality on the ground? Let's take a look at the biggest roadblocks that are stopping this kind of community from actually taking shape. And the data here, well, it lays out the conflict pretty clearly. These aren't small issues. They're major, tangible barriers. Not having common planning time is a huge one. So is the lack of a simple, clear platform to even connect on. But there's one hurdle that stands way, way above all the others. And there it is, the big one. An overwhelming workload. It's cited by the exact same percentage of teachers who are craving that camaraderie, nearly 85%. Think about that. The very thing they need the most, connection, is being directly blocked by the sheer weight of everything else on their plate. So this leads us to a really critical question, right? If time and energy are so precious, where should collaboration be focused to get the biggest bang for the buck? Well, the survey asked teachers to rate what's most valuable to collaborate on, and a super clear pattern emerged. Things like classroom management tips are helpful, sure, but they're not the top priority. The real value, according to them, is in the big picture, systemic stuff. I mean, just look at this. Collaborating on how to advocate for their own programs is seen as the single most valuable use of their time together. Over 61% gave it a perfect score. This is about them banding together to champion the arts, to protect their budgets, and to secure the future of their departments. And coming in at a strong second is vertical alignment. A huge majority of teachers see massive value in making sure the student experience is connected and makes sense, from elementary school all the way through graduation. It's about building a real, cohesive program, not just a random series of one-off classes. Okay, so we know what they want, we know what's stopping them, and we know what they want to focus on. So what's the fix? What are the practical, real-world solutions that teachers themselves are asking for? For the kind of collaboration that doesn't require everyone to be in the same room at the same time, teachers want to keep it simple. They prefer flexible and accessible digital tools. Things like a shared Google Drive for resources is the top choice, with a dedicated space like a Facebook group right behind it for asking questions and just connecting. And for those times when they do need to meet in real time, the message is loud and clear. Please do not add one more thing to our overflowing plates. Just use the time that's already built into our contracts, but let us use it in a way that actually helps. In fact, look at that number. Over 3/4 of teachers are saying that the single best approach is to use existing professional development days for collaboration that's specific to the fine arts. Basically, stop with the generic book studies and let us work with our actual peers on the things that actually matter to our students and our programs. Data tells a huge part of the story, but to really feel the passion behind these numbers, you gotta hear it from the teachers themselves. Let's ground all this in their own words. This one just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that frustration we saw in the data. You can just feel that sense that these one-size-fits-all PDs often feel more like a burden than a genuine form of support. And there it is again. Remember that number one goal from the beginning, that fundamental need for connection. This is it. It's such a simple, powerful statement. How can you collaborate if you barely know who your teammates are? It all starts with building that basic community.
And finally, this comment ties it all together. It speaks directly to those high-value topics of advocacy and alignment. It's not just about sharing a fun activity for Tuesday. It's about building a shared vision and getting everyone on the same page to move the entire arts program forward together.
So when you put it all together, here's the bottom line. Fine arts teachers are not asking for the moon. They've told us exactly what they need: community. They've shown us the biggest hurdle, feeling completely overwhelmed. And they've given us a clear, practical roadmap to make it all work within the systems we already have. The blueprint is right there. The only question left is, who's going to clear the path?